Hello, this is the Blimey Cow YouTuber, and welcome back to another video. And today, I'll be watching Jordan's Messyges, recycling terrible ideas. So yeah, I'll be watching that, commentating on it a bit, and then looking at some of the comments under it. So without any further ado, let's just get right into it.
Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Jordan's Messyges. This is the place where you come and ask me all your messy questions, and I attempt to answer them. Now, Josh and I haven't made Messyges since I was about 16, but when we went and saw Men in Black 3 and realized how great it was, we decided that we just couldn't resist going back and recycling all of our old terrible ideas too. Let's get to the questions.
So, I don't know exactly how old he is at. So this is 10 years ago. So yeah, he's probably about 20 in this video, which means it's 4 years from the last Messyges. And it kind of stuck this time. He didn't, like, Messyges was off and on until about I'd say about 3 years ago. They started doing it pretty regularly, I think. Coincidentally, about the time that I started watching maybe 4.5, 5 years ago. So there was a bit of time between me getting in and them getting back to regular Messyges. Anyways, though, so what I'm gonna do for the Messyges videos, I think what I did um, on earlier Messyges videos that I looked at was I'll read the message first, try to answer it myself, and then um, of course let him read it and answer it, and then react to his answer. So, dear Jordan, I'm 14 years old and so in love with my boyfriend, but I'm afraid he's cheating on me. How can I know for sure that he loves me? Tina from Beasley, Texas. I'd say look into what makes you think he's cheating on you. If this is something you heard from somebody, look into whether or not they're a reliable source. Um, Interrogate them on what made them think so. If you're just worried because you're paranoid and that's the way you are, then probably dismiss that. Um, I don't want to dismiss your relationship summarily based on your age. Um, but I would be sober with yourself about the fact that you're new to this and you can get carried away with feelings. But I guess your question is how to know for sure that he loves you. Um, in this culture, at this point, um, you see, um, Okay, love's not a feeling. The thing is, love's not a feeling. It there's feelings involved in love, but there's so much more than that. Love is a do. It's something you have to act out on day by day, and it's something you have to commit to and be dedicated to. And that's not something that happens now or this week or this month or this year. That's something that happens every day for the rest of your life. And I feel like, well, I'm just going to say what I want to say, and that would be you get married, and in 50 years, if you're still together and you're happily married, then he loves you.
Dear Jordan, I'm 14 years old and so in love with my boyfriend, but I'm afraid he's cheating on me. How can I know for sure that he loves me? Wow, Josh, looks like your girlfriend thinks that you're cheating on her. Terrible. I have 3 hard.
Okay, that's funny, but it's also kind of not funny to joke that Josh, who's like, I don't know, 22, 23, 24 at this point, has a 14-year-old girlfriend. It's not. You can't think too much about it because it's. Also, I'm pretty sure Josh was actually married at this point.
Hard truths to tell you. Number 1, he doesn't love you. Number 2, you don't love him, and I can guarantee you that. And number 3, he's probably doing whatever the 14-year-old version of cheating is. Which, if MTV is correct, is just the standard definition of cheating. Dear Jordan.
You can't guarantee that he doesn't love you, and you can't guarantee that you don't love him, and you can't dismiss a relationship based on age when that now 14, 15 it is a bit young to get into a serious relationship, but that's a good time to start. Like, this idea of getting or falling in love and getting married at like 18, 20, 24, who knows, that's a recent phenomenon. Like, in the past century, like 16 to 18 would be standard for us naturally, historically, and a huge part of why that's not the case anymore is the the difficulty in becoming independent at that age because child labor laws, with the advent of the Industrial Revolution. Now, a lot of agricultural occupations are still allowed to hire younger children, like uh, under 14, and then, but with the advent of the Industrial Revolution, um, industrial jobs are more dangerous, obviously, for younger people and less developed people. So people started working younger. People started uh, doing more school. Um, it's it's basically impossible at this point to buy land or get a house um, when you're a teenager. So people have been pushing off courtship and marriage and love, and it's it's fostering all sorts of degradation of our or denigration of our culture in numerous ways. Main point is though, um, if you fall in love with your youth group crush and you date all through high school and you get married when you're like 17, 18, 19, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's not something that can't happen, it's just something that doesn't really happen anymore. So all that to say, I disagree with Jordan's answering of that question and revert to my answer.
I just graduated from high school and I'm wondering what I should study in college. The fine print on your student loans. Dear Jordan, I have a cold. What should I do?
Hold up.
Once again, I have 3.
Excuse me. Where were we? Okay, what should you study in college? You've just graduated from high school and you're wondering what you should study in college. If you don't know what you should study in college, you should not study in college. You should not go to college. You don't need it. It's a waste of your time and money. But really, what you should do is you should study quantum mechanics and figure out how to build a time machine so that you can go back in time to before you graduated high school and figure out what on earth you want to do with your life. And then you won't be wondering where to go after you graduate high school. Because I can't tell you what you should do unless I know what you want to do for a living. Also, you should not take student loans. They're also a waste of money for everyone. And not even just everyone involved, just everyone in general suffers from you taking student loans.
School and I'm wondering what I should study in college. The fine print on your student loans. Dear Jordan, I have a cold. What should I do?
What should you do if you have a cold? Wait until it goes away.
Once again, I have 3 God-fearing words. Apple, cider, vinegar.
Good answer.
Dear Jordan, my parents won't let me do anything. They are super annoying. How can I make them see that I'm mature enough to do more stuff? Wow.
The way you wrote that message does not inspire confidence that you are mature. How old did they say they were? They didn't. So I don't like to rag on rad on my parents, rag on my parents. I don't like to do either of those, and I'm not sure which one I'm trying to use in this circumstance. But my parents didn't let me do a lot. So you just live with it. I mean, you do what you can, and you get over yourself. because at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal, and in a few years, you'll be an adult living on your own, God willing, and you'll say, wow, that really wasn't that long.
Wow, are you a real human? Josh, did real people write these in, or did you just come up with these 5 minutes before we recorded this? I mean, there's nobody out there that's actually like that. I mean, the only way that you are real is if Nickelodeon's representation of parents is actually true. Always on a date when their kids are throwing a party at the house. Here's my email address, messages@blimeycow.com. Go and ask me your messy questions. Wow, this was fun! Ask me more questions and I'll answer them. Don't be messy. And leave good messages.
Okay, so his answers to most of those were not bad, I think. But let's just go down and see what everybody's saying in the comment section. Okay, so who locked and about like 50% of the comments said the same thing, so I just picked one that was representative. But Hulock says, what should I study in college? The fine print on your student loans. And I kid you not, literally close to 50% of the comments were that and the apple cider vinegar one. His elbow touched me says, this was great. I loved the answer to the first question. Thanks for being brutally honest there. At 14, I had a guy ask me out. My answer was heck no. Now I'm 18, never had a boyfriend, and waiting for the right one. Oh yeah. So I have to ask, whose elbow touched you? Or is this like a subtle sapper charge that you're making here? Anyways, yeah, nice way to like ruin a guy's just entire self-esteem for the next like 10 years. Like, it's one thing to say no, but if I had a girl say heck no to me just flat out like that, I think I would myself. I didn't say that. No. Sorry, that was probably too much. But the point is, like, okay. Laser Wolf, you wouldn't by any chance, like, let me just show you.
Your daughter. Your daughter, Zeitel.
My daughter, Zeitel?
Of course, your daughter, Zeitel. I see her every Thursday in my butcher shop. And she's made a very good impression on me. A very good impression. Octavia, I like her. Why don't we just shake hands and call it a match? And I'll be good to her.
Anyways, I think you get the point. In hindsight, though, I think there's no way that's not what he was referring to with that username, because you never spell laser that way. Like laser, like the actual laser light would be Laser, I believe. Anyways, but yeah, Laser Wolf says, I'm going to be one of those guys. Jordan says stuff in each video that is eerily close to quirky parts of my own family. Today's installment apple cider vinegar. My mom has been pushing that stuff on us at every element ever since she discovered some book like 1001 Uses for Vinegar. No joke, but it actually works. Um, I think my mom actually found that same book. Um, I'm not sure what he's referring to by "I'm gonna be one of those guys." Um, but other than that, this is just more or less a comment that I selected to be representative of other comments that other people were making. And lastly, Maddie is fudging beast. Um, says, I understand age is usually attached with a specific emotional maturity, but that being said, if one truly understands what love is, actually seeking another greater good, then age shouldn't be a factor. My theology teacher says we can fall in love at any time. It's an emotion, but truly loving someone is an action. But I agree with you in this situation. They both sound like kids. My advice is if you are worried he's cheating and have good reason to believe that he is, then he most likely is. So yeah, I basically agree with that. I think, and I don't know if I really touched on this, but based on the message, she didn't seem to have a particular high level of emotional maturity. Um, not not that that's not to be expected of a 14-year-old. I guess her I guess just and it was a short message, so it's hard to really judge accurately. But from what I could tell, her emotional maturity did seem to be typical of what you would expect of what is common for someone of that age. And that's again, we can go into whether or not that level of maturity is what should be expected of someone of that age, but it is what's common. Um, so yeah, you can find love at um, remarkably young ages, but that doesn't mean that it's common for people that age to be mature enough. Anyways, though, that is going to be the end of this video, and I want to thank you all very much for watching. Subscribe to Blimey Cow if for some reason you're not already, and I will see you later. Bye.